So today I'm going to take you through a little tour of some ideas for your index card. So what is the index card? Well, years ago, I came up with the index card idea as a way for students to review before a test. That was before iPads and all of the nice apps that we have now on our computers and our iPads and our phones, which can make some really fun index cards as well as paper. I still always have students that wish to do it on paper, and I'm going to show you a lot of examples on paper. So the idea of an index card is that you take each section from the list, what to study, and you prepare a review of it. Your review can have an explanation. It can have an explanation in one example, or it can have two examples. It could be on paper, it can be a Pinterest, it can be a Kahoot. You have a lot of different options to make the best index card that you can. It's worth 40 points, and the thing that I really like is I get to see how creative you can be with math. I don't get to see that side of you very often. So I'm going to show you some different types. I'm going to go over here first, and I'm going to show you some on paper. So here's one that's called A Trip to Friendly's, and you can see she did the front as an ice cream cone, and then on the back she actually had a receipt from Friendly's and showed tipping and explained the tipping and actually did an example. And then she wrote about circle graphs, which we don't study anymore in 7th grade, but you can see that she did a very clear explanation of it. She explained on the back of the ice cream cone all about percents and scientific notation, rational or irrational, and the percent proportion. So that's just one idea. Here's another idea. Haley did a guide to percents, and she made a little book. And in the book, she explained each topic, and then she gave an example. And you can see that these are decorated and look nice. Here is a flow chart that a student made on the computer, which is a wonderful example of, this is actually kind of what we're doing right now with order of operations. There were different topics when he did this, but you can see that he's shown all the topics. He gives an explanation, he gives an example. And every time you give an example, you must show the answer, a correct answer. Here is Eliza's notebook. And so Eliza, set up a nice looking notebook that looks just like a regular notebook. This was when the kids actually took a lot of notes on just in their notebooks rather than the papers that I give you now. And so you can see she's explained each topic, she asks some questions, and then she has the answers in there. Seasonal index cards are very popular. This was a Valentine's one where the student wrote the topic on the front, and then as you open these flaps, there's an explanation and then an example for each one. Here's another sample of one that is a seasonal with Easter eggs. So, you have your choice. Here is another flow chart, which here's chapter 1, and it gives all the different topics and then explains them here. This was a few years ago. I would require now an example for each one. Okay, then here, Haley made hers and actually made flashcards for each topic. And on the back, she put the explanation and then the examples. So you can see that that's a nice little idea too. This was done, this looks like a UPS box, and it says, "Congratulations, inside this box is the most wonderful gift of all, a notebook containing everything you need to know about properties, the distributor." So you can see that a lot of thought went into this, and a lot of good explanations and good problems. So the more creative you are, not only with the way it looks, but also with your problems. This was another one that was a math guide, and this one was for that kid. So you can see that that was popular even then. And then this is the way the kids used to have to take notes, class notes on one side and examples on the other. Here's another example. This is a game that somebody made, and if you make a game, it has to fit on an index card. Anything you do needs to fit on an index card. You could, you know, use both sides as they did. If you make a game, you're not actually making the actual board yourself. You're making a smaller version of it. Okay, another good one is a math newspaper. And this is the Math Messenger and breaking news with all the different topics that we studied. And then if you open the newspaper up, you can see that this person wrote quite a bit about each topic. Then we have some on the computer here. I don't know if you can see these very well, but here's one, the probability tree. And you can see that every topic here, let me see if I can figure out how to get to the next page. Why it's not going. So here's a winter with geometry. I don't know why I'm not able to get, looks like it's frozen, of course. But you can get the idea of what it looks like. There, it should be good now. There we go. So this is all geometry, special angle pairs, surface area and volume. This one is way above and beyond. You don't have to go to such extremes. But obviously it was an excellent grade and showed great effort and included all the topics that we needed and did a really, really awesome job. And then she did another one, this probability tree, which you can see it was at the holidays, so she kind of decorated it for the holidays, and it's quite good. Then there was also a student, and she did these Pinterest boards that were amazing. So I pulled one up to show you. This one was on probability. So let's see if I can make it, yeah. So she actually, her board was called probability, and then each pin was a different topic. There's a little spelling mistake here, but you can see that she actually made the pieces on Explain Everything and then moved it to the to Pinterest. So she took each section of probability and made a different pin for it. So you can see how creative that is. I have a few more written ones to show you, paper ones. This is one that a student did, and it was all about pies, but you know, she wrote like a letter to Dr. Math, I believe. And then this one was made to look old. King Mathematics does hereto decree the following facts, which ye shall adhere to. So, you know, very, very creative. This is an excellent one of a book. Unit 1, integers, integers for the confuzzled. And you can see that it's an entire book of what was in the first chapter. So I think you must by now be getting the idea. You also, and here's another idea. I keep looking at them and seeing more things, but this is in the form of a math test. So here they wrote multiple choice questions. They're really good questions. You always have to give the answers as well. Let's see if I have anything else here. Okay, this was a map. This is the city of Mathsville. As you can see, its residents are simply infatuated with math. And she just goes on. Mathsville is divided into 5 districts. Each district specializes in a type of equation. And she has decorated it nicely. You can see there's not a ton of writing here, but she covered all the topics that I wanted covered. Then if you wanted to do a Kahoot, you could do a Kahoot, but with the Kahoot, you have to make sure, if you want it to be creative, you have to put in some images, make sure that all your answers make sense and that students would choose those answers. So you can't just put in silly answers. Anything else that you come up with, you can come and share with me, and I would be happy to tell you, to give you an idea. I have some ideas on my website. I have a paper that you can If you go under index cards at the top tab, you can see a list of some of the things that I've just shown you. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I hope that you will enjoy this activity.